Hello everyone, welcome back to the Rock River Valley Traction Company. In today's video we are going to move some materials around the line. So I've recently acquired more bricks and blocks to use as riprap. So I've got this hopper car loaded up pretty good. Unfortunately, where it has to go, the track isn't so good for putting it on that track, so I'll just have to set it on the main, unload this thing by hand, which is not going to be all that much fun, but we'll get it done. So I'm going to hook up this hopper car to the gondola, and we will take off with the steeple cab and go disperse this material, and then we'll head up the hill. And I've got a load of some 30-pound rail. I've got some 4x4s that I'm bringing out here, and a stick of 12-pound rail that someone gave me. So yeah, gonna be a busy day. Got beautiful weather out here today, so let's get started. Okay, we've arrived at our destination where the riprap will be placed. We've got here you can see the creek, and this is where we have issues. Whenever this creek floods, it will come up and flood the track. Quite some years ago, we had a flood so bad that it washed out all this right here. It was collapsing into the creek bank, and over the years I have reinforced it with stuff like this, and I've almost got it built back up. The track still has a bit of a depression here. I don't know if you can see it in the video, maybe not, but it does go downhill significantly here. This, at one time, this washout extended all the way back here. You can still see, maybe you can't see, but the ground is really low right there. There was a big sinkhole there that opened up and had water in it. So there is some sort of underground stream here. It seems the creek was trying to divert itself. So we've been trying to put a stop to that with all this material. And then this track that you see that I've cut on top of it goes to a switchback there. Now, many years ago, this track used to be supported on some wood beams, and it went up about maybe 3 foot high off the ground, and that was our maintenance trestle. That's how we would get underneath the equipment to service the motors. And as the years have gone by, the creek has gotten closer and closer. And I would say probably about maybe 10 years ago, we lost the maintenance trestle. It completely washed into the creek and was gone, and then it just, the creek just keeps working its way this way. So with this material, we're trying to slow that down. What I'm going to do with this load is try to build up my flood wall a little bit. I've been slowly working on building this up higher so that when the creek does flood, it at least slows the velocity of the water. The hope is that the creek will deposit some mud and eventually build this bank back up to where it's naturally stable again. So yeah, time to unload this car. Car is empty, and we now have a little bit better flood wall along here. I built it up maybe another foot, and I do need to come and take this track panel out of here. I don't think I'm ever gonna need to come down this far again, especially not since the rest of the track is kind of unstable now, being on the rest of the flood wall. This old car, this is our old welder car. I'll show that to you a little bit. It's got brake drums for the wheels. But we used this car for many years. Once I had built something better, it was time to retire this thing. The bearings were starting to go bad, whatnot. So, but anyways, yeah, here's our beefed up flood wall. Oh, this hose right here that you see, this is what I use for filling the weed spray car. Pipe that goes down into the creek. And you can kind of see right here just how close this bank is getting. You can see the water right there. So it's approaching. Some years ago I did fortify that bank with some rock and stuff, but when it floods, it can still come up here. Fortunately, the deepest I've ever seen the water at this point is probably about a foot above the track. So that's probably about where I've got this wall right now. So hopefully the next time it floods that high, if it does, which I'm sure it will at some point, even though I think we're going on about 10 years since I've seen water up that high, at least we'll be a little better prepared this time. So now we'll go up the hill and grab a flat car loaded with some more materials and move those down to the barn to get that car unloaded. We've got some rail to drop along the way, so let's go. Here we are at the material yard. We're gonna pick up 2 flat cars. as you can see, we've got our train assembled to go back down to the barn. So we're going to take this out and turn it on the loop, come back. We're actually going to come back on this route the way that we came up, because the grade is a little bit, I would say it's the same steepness as the other grade. It's just longer. I'd feel a little better going down this hill than I do the other hill with all these cars and all this weight. We'll see how many times this little flat car derails along the way. These were little carts that I got from a brick company in Indiana, and some of them, they stiffened up. You can see there's a piece of angle iron there, and they're just too rigid. And if the track is a little bit out, then they will derail because they're so light. This car, on the other hand, is grossly overloaded, as you can see by my springs. Completely compressed. But on here, I've got some planks that I'm going to use for crossing planks. I've also got some 30-pound rail here that was recently acquired. So we're going to drop that off where it's going to be used at. I brought my ladder out here from the house so I can get up and trim some trees. And then lastly, we got some 4x4s there. I did not cut those up for ties. I'm keeping them 14 feet just in case I need them for something long out here. So yeah, let's take this load down to the barn. made it down the hill without anything getting away from me. This little guy only derailed about 5 times. So now we're gonna unload our chunks of 30-pound rail out here on this straightaway where we're gonna do an upgrade. This has got quite a bit of 12-pound rail here and some 20 on this other rail. Maybe that's 16. In any case, we're gonna upgrade it to 30-pound. So we'll get this rail unloaded and then we'll take the rest of the stuff onto the car barn where it will be unloaded. Got our rail unloaded. See here I've got the straight sections put out, and then I also have these curve pieces. They don't have much of a curve in them, so I'm hoping that I can get the curve out of those and use them down here on the straightaway. If I can get them straightened out, then this entire section of straight track will be in 30-pound rail, which is really exciting. So now we will move on and finish unloading the rest of the items at the barn, and then we'll take the flat car back up the hill and be done for the day. I'm back here at the barn now. Going to put some ties. I cut these at my house and then transport them out here in my fine vehicle. And we'll load them onto this little flat car. That will make going back up the hill much easier, as it'll have some weight on it. And then put these 4x4s and the ladder in the barn. Drop off the hopper car. It goes in one of the stalls of the barn. And then the poles will go back up to the material yard. Got the hopper car put back in its stall. And we've got the other tie car. I've unloaded those ties out of my vehicle, put them on there. And we've got the long flat car all unloaded. So now we're going to take this train back up to the material yard and put it away. Hope everyone enjoyed working out here with me today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.